Hi, today I'm going to walk you through the many powerful features of Voila, all the way from how we add couriers to how we control tracking and notifications for your customers. First things first, we're using an account for Total Fulfillment who have kindly agreed to let us do. We're going to need to make an API account in order to be able to control access to our system. So I'm going to navigate to the API account section using this left-hand side menu. In here, I can click the Create button on the top right to create one with a randomly generated key. I will need to create an API group firstly to group my accounts in, which I'll call test for the purpose of this. And I can then create my API accounts. I'm going to call this test account. And I can generate a random account key as well. So now that my API account's set up, we can start to add our couriers using Voilà's engine of pre-built integrations. Because I can see right now that I don't have any registered couriers for this account. So let's navigate to the courier directory section. Here, we can view all 150 plus couriers in the global library, and I can filter through them by shipping origin or by shipping destination. For the purpose of this, I'm going to add the test courier. So I'll search for it and I'll select it. Now I need to select the correct API account from the drop-down list. And then I can add a preset, which just refers to the different services each courier provides. Once I've added these, I'll need to navigate back to the API account section. So now, let's link this with our courier account details. I can view and add registered couriers here by clicking this plus button and searching for the courier I want to add. I'll get presented with this pop-up where I can enter my courier account details. So now that's done, I can view my registered orders for the account and I can see that the test courier is now all set up. And voila, it's that simple. Our courier is now fully integrated. So what do we get from this? Firstly, data. By navigating to the dashboard section, I can monitor all my courier performance in one place. There are two dashboards, one for label generation and shipments, and the other for tracking the parcels after they leave the warehouse. In the shipping dashboard, I can see some information around my creations, label generations, and on the tracking side, I can break down the delivery performance of each courier. I can also see my delivery performance by region, so I may have certain areas where they struggle to reach customers, not so much as others. What's especially useful is being able to see the delivery performance by courier service. It's used in rate negotiations with couriers, especially if we can see underperformance and consistent late deliveries from one courier. Let's dive into the shipment section next. This is where we log all of our shipment information. We can view the API requests themselves, and we can also view the full tracking history of any parcel. So I can see here, I can see when it was booked, when it was at the hub, all the way until it was finally delivered. We can also view and download labels manually, and we can also print packing slips and commercial invoices for any shipment. It's much easier to follow everything when it's all logged like this in one place. So the next thing I want to show you is how we can make shipping faster and smarter by using smart shipping. Smart shipping allows us to make a set of rules based on parameters that we decide on, so couriers can be automatically selected for any shipment. First, I'm going to select my API account from the drop-down menu, and then I'll create a rule. Just like with API accounts, I'll need to create a group to put the rules into. We can name it as appropriate and give rules priority over each other, so if there are multiple applicable rules, the shipment routes to the correct one. I'm going to call this the over 2 kg rule because I want it to affect parcels that are only 2 kilograms and upwards. I can then choose parameters. These can vary between a lot of different things. I can choose collection dates and times, booking dates and times, parcel dimensions and weight, delivery postcodes, even the product SKUs themselves. For the example I'm trying to portray here, I'm going to choose parcel weight, and the minimum weight I want to be affecting is 2 kilograms. Then I can choose my output service. So you can select a preferred courier and service to fulfill the rule, but we also have two more important services. Firstly, we can choose a failover service, so that if there are issues generating a label with our first choice, it will automatically opt for the failover, and our shipments can continue undisrupted. Also, we can select a return service, in case a customer wants to return a product. With this, we have the ability to make as extensive a list of rules as needed with the click of a button and without needing to involve any dev teams, and we fully automated our courier selection process through this. So that was setting up the shipping side. How can we now manage the post-purchase experience for our customers? Firstly, we can build notifications ourselves in this section. As our parcel progresses along the delivery route, we can use the different statuses as triggers to send out email notifications to customers. Here's an example of one that's used by Rido. And we can edit every part of this notification so it's branded to us and fits our image, which is very straightforward using this editing menu on the right hand side. We might even use this page to advertise for sales or new deals that we have on. And when customers receive these, they have visibility, which prevents them from swarming customer service teams with "where's my order" queries. In fact, you may want to be able to create your own tracking portal. If I navigate to the app section, I can see the option for branded tracking portals. You may have to install it if it's your first time, but let's go ahead and open that. Let's look at an example of one of these portals. Customers can enter their details to be able to track the parcel along its journey. Again, this is all fully customizable using this menu on the right, so even the shape of the buttons can fit your brand image, and all the coloring can be redone too. Having this visibility greatly improves your customer experience, and it plays a big part in marketing and retention, and it will also help us to build that repeat customer base that we want. Now, to further reduce the load on our customer service teams, we can also create our own AI chatbot. So by navigating to the App Store again, we can access Hey Voila. Now, this AI chatbot can be trained on everything about our brand. We can do that in a few different ways. Firstly, we can use a prompt to have it act and speak a certain way. We can upload some files, which may be policies and procedures we wanted to follow. We can also enter in some URLs which we wanted to learn from. And we can also edit the branding and styling of the chatbot. So again, it matches your brand image, it speaks the way you want to speak, and it's aware of all of the information it needs to be able to answer customer queries. Again, this means rather than customers getting in touch with you to find out where their order is, they have access to all these resources that they can use first. And these tools, they work in the background incredibly well because they can be webhooked and embedded within your own sites. For the chatbot, we can see in the settings there's an embedding option where you can put in a URL to embed the chatbot. Alternatively, you can go to the webhook section. In here, we can create any webhook by pressing the button, and all we need is a URL to hook it to.